Hi, everyone. It's Erin from Atlantic Mediation. Thank you for your suggestions on topics I can cover during my YouTube chats. I got a lot of great suggestions, and they were really interesting. Workplace conflict, conflict resolution, conflict with a neighbor, how to deal with in-laws, so many great things. And I plan to cover all of them. But the one that I got the most often was how do you work at home during distance learning without becoming resentful, and how to stop conflict before it starts related to that. It's an interesting topic, and I really did some studying, some thinking, some reflecting on some things that may help you. And I have 5 easy steps that you can take today in order to make the next several months. The first of the 5 steps I recommend is to read. There is an interesting book by Allyson Downey called Here's the Plan. And in it, she discusses household responsibility worksheets and division of labor in one's home. And so I liked it so much, I'm actually going to link her worksheets on my website and below this YouTube video to let you know, so you don't have to start from scratch. You can actually just use her guidance. And what you're going to do is take everything that you do in your home, from big things, small things, and put them down on this worksheet. As we all know, we're very busy and a lot of things just get done. And there are people around us who don't even realize that there was an effort being made. And that idea itself of being underappreciated or just an unsung hero can actually be the seed that starts a major conflict in your home. And so it's really important, especially now, to take all of those items and put them on this worksheet. And that brings us to step 2. So on step 2, you're going to take a look at those responsibilities and share them with your partner. Once you've shared them, you want to match them up and then also categorize them by types of task. And so what you have in the end are buckets of responsibility based on different task names. So let's say medical includes dentistry, physical therapy. There's a sports bucket. There's a homework bucket, all sorts of things. And communication, paying bills, you name it. And you could you make that household, although that one's sort of large. You might want to consider breaking that up. And then once you do that, you move on to basically each of you assign a task manager for each of those buckets. So for example, I would take medical and homework, and my spouse would take household chores, or and all of the other things that go into that, paying bills, whatever it may be for your situation. And you want to execute working on those as basically a project manager. You're going to make sure you own those buckets. You're making sure that all of those things are getting done, and you're not relying on the other person to help you. It's really something you're charging full steam ahead. Now, I didn't say you can't assign kids to some of the items in the bucket. That goes for both of you. Kids can handle a lot of responsibility. I know distance learning is going to be tough, but also a sense of accomplishment at the end of the day, helping out mom and dad may be something that they really like. On step 3, you want to take turns trading places. And that means you're taking your bucket, your group of activities, and you're handing them off to your partner, and your partner is taking theirs and handing them off to you. Why is this important? Well, it creates empathy. And it also, in many ways, lets the other side understand what it takes to make the household run. And this empathy and this process, something that will help way after distance learning. It actually helps a marriage, it helps a family, and then it also helps children understand what it takes to make a good marriage work, how to make a household work. Having your children watch you trade buckets and support each other and empathize with each other is actually a lesson for them too. One day they may be the partner or spouse for someone else, and being able to have a living example of how something like this works is super important. Their partner would appreciate it as well. And these types of things, actually, I recommend to people that are just becoming a couple, or just getting married, or cohabitating, however it may be. This division of labor issue is something that comes up often. And when you can look at it without emotion and very logically, and place things into categories and split the difference. Essentially, it really does help a marriage, and it helps communication. So you're setting up expectations and then working together toward a solution. Step 4 of this plan is to let go of the small stuff. Seriously, you must. Your partner may not load the dishwasher the same way as you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's wrong. And I realize I'm using a very trivial example, but these things, these small things, are, when they build up and someone doesn't communicate and it's a problem, this is what causes huge conflict. This causes divorce. And so this is something you want to be very careful about. And, of course, someone with less experience on the job is going to do it not as well as maybe you would. And so you really need to give each other a period of grace and a period of understanding. And, everyone's trying to make their best effort. And so that's something that is really hard to do, maybe the hardest in this entire process, but it's the most important. And the fifth step in this is to evaluate and renegotiate. And so if this isn't working for you, this plan or your buckets, or you don't want to trade, or it's really better for your household to keep things as they are, do that. And the silver lining to evaluating and negotiating and reevaluating and reassigning is the fact that you're communicating. And as we all know, communication is, the fundamental in a healthy household. And that's something that, being able to talk about these openly and freely without getting angry, doing it logically, hopefully emotion free, maybe a little bit of humor never hurts. But that, using that process to connect and talk really will help. And that's something you can also include children in too, so they feel a part of the solution. And I think, it's going to be a tricky next couple of months. I know it's been challenging since the spring, and we're all getting ready to start back up if we haven't already. And so I wish you the best of luck. I hope that these 5 steps were helpful. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I plan to cover lots more topics. And as always, if you need to reach me, my email is erin@atlanticmediationservices.com. And I'll see you soon. Remember, peace is possible. Take care.